kind. Be kind to one another. Hello everyone, welcome to Average Joe Watch Reviews, where we do more than just reviews. Today we're taking a look at the Mundane watch, and I've actually always wanted to check one of these out, and Luminox was actually very gracious enough to send this for review. And as you notice, there was a paid promotion at the corner, top corner of the screen. That means that I get to keep the watch, so I want to thank them so much for this piece. So if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and also click a like. That is the most charitable way to help support the channel. So with no further ado, let's dive right on into the review. Oh yeah. All right, so we're gonna dive into the Mundane. This is actually the first time I've had one of these on the channel. And I wanna give a huge shout out to Luminox for sending this in for review. This has been gifted to me, and I wanted to thank them for doing so. Obviously, that's not going to sway my review in any way, because as every one of you who has been a follower of mine for any period of time knows, that I am not shy in giving my honest opinion. So we're just gonna dive right into the watch itself and give you guys some quirks and features of this particular piece. The first quirk I think that really stands out is the second hand, which is red, and it's got the lollipop right on the edge there. Very, very unique. Typically the lollipop is the counterbalance, but in this case, this is actually takes the place of the pointer. And we also have these just rectangular, thick, stark black hands, and that theme continues along with all of the indices as well. So it gives this watch a really unique, almost like it's kind of like a cartoonish look. You know, it's not a watch that you're going to see on someone else's wrist unless they have a Mundane. But I mean, this is a design that is very, very distinctive. You see this on someone's wrist, you're going to know exactly what this is. We do see some anti-reflective coating here. One of the things I don't like about this watch is that it has zero luminescence. And you guys know that I'm a Lume fan. So, you know, I know that they're going for this whole like minimalistic and just really just kind of clean look. And they definitely mastered that. But I do know that there's some Lume out there. And especially since this is Luminox, maybe putting in some of those tritium tubes that don't really take up a lot of real estate, and I think would still give you guys the look. But here's the thing, this is not a cheap watch, guys. And the reason why is because what's powering it. If you may have noticed, we've got the Swiss-made logo on the bottom there. So when we flip the watch around, this one has if you know anything about movements, if this one doesn't look familiar to you, this is the SW200 movement. And this one is made entirely in Switzerland. So we've got 26 joules, and this is a very decent movement. This would be an entry-level Swiss movement, but it's still a robust, very reliable movement. And just taking a look here at some of the components. All right. So Mundane is actually made by the Luminati group, which makes Luminox. So I didn't know that until they reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to review the Mundane? And I'm like, well, I thought you got, and then I realized, and when I did a little bit further reading, that they actually are the same company. So really cool there. You've actually got the sign crown here with the M for Mundane. I do like the touch of red. It actually works very well with the red second hand and my red Coca-Cola shirt that you see in the reflection. So the operation of the watch is pretty standard. You've got the first click, and that's going to do your date. Very, very positive clicks. You can even hear it clicking. Very, very nice. Click it out the second time, effortless. and you've got the time. And we're going to bring it down around one more time so that we can see when indeed it changes. Starting to change. A little bit early at 11:54. You hear that positive engagement, and there you go. Winding the crown, very simple. It's not a screw down. It's got that typical SW2 grinding sound to it. This is a high polished case all the way around, actually. Everything here is high polish. I would have liked to have seen some brushed surfaces, actually, just for some contrast. But this is all mirror polished everywhere. It's all mirrored. For me, when you have brushing on certain parts, it gives the case more dimension. And it also just it adds a quality component, because you know that it takes more time, more money to produce a case that has multifaceted dimensions. This one looks like pretty simple, and I know they're going for the simple look. So I know that I'm saying things that are probably going against what the watch was meant to be, which was a simple, automatic, Swiss-made timepiece, very reliable piece. And it definitely makes a statement. And I have to admit, I truly like this watch a lot. It's actually going to stay in my collection. I have absolutely no intentions of getting rid of this watch because it's so different. And here's the thing, guys. And I'm going to give you guys some final thoughts in a moment. But you know what? I'm going to save that for the final thoughts, because I love this watch, but, and we'll get to that soon. This does come with a very, very nice soft leather strap. There is really no padding, but it is thicker. You've got the Mondaine branding, genuine leather. As you can see, I've been wearing it. I have a 7-inch wrist, so you could see there's definitely plenty of holes there for larger wrists, so that's not an issue. And there's even a couple more holes for smaller wrists. So definitely a good size strap, 20 millimeters in lug width. And this is the quick change strap system. All you got to do is put your nail in there, and it is that simple, guys. And then I just pivot and click, and it's that easy to then reinstall. This thing would be a strap monster in my opinion, because it's a black and white watch. Very simple to just, match up some straps to this one. So totally a strap monster in my opinion. We've got Mondaine branding on the buckle. It reminds me of a Hamilton buckle. It's got that squared off, but it's not sharp like Hamilton. Fully polished again, and you've got your fixed keeper and your floating keeper there. And then we've got sapphire crystal. I don't know if it's front and back, but we'll take a look and see with our trusty diamond selector. So the top crystal, we're going to get sapphire crystal. The case back, we're going to get mineral crystal. So just as I expected, not many companies do sapphire front and back. So that's not a problem, because the front is what's going to get the abuse. The back simply lays on your wrist. Not a problem there. And we're just going to take some quick measurements, and we'll get some final thoughts. This is going to be a 40 millimeter case diameter. This is thin, 10 millimeter in thickness. We got 20 millimeter in lug width, and our lug to lug is 46 millimeters. So some good dimensions. Let's take a look at it on my 7-inch wrist. And check that out, guys. Really cool watch. Lots of fun. This is a fun watch. And you could dress this up, you could dress it down. So let's flip the camera around and give you guys some final thoughts. All right, just some final thoughts on the Mondaine watch. So as I said in the review, that just because the watch is gifted to me does not mean that I'm not going to give it my honest opinion. So when you look at this watch, this does not look like an almost $700 watch. I'm just going to be honest. You have micro brands that are actually putting SW200 movements in their watches. The Swiss watch company, for instance, they put that SW200 in their watches for under $500. So yeah, we're not far off, but this one's closer to 700 than it is to, under 5. So I need to bring that up. And the reason why you're paying more money for a Mondaine in comparison to a micro brand is very simple. You're paying for the marketing, you're paying for the larger company, the more employees, and as you know, Luminox has brand ambassadors that they need to pay big money for. So that's essentially what you're paying for. So you're not paying more for the watch, you're paying more for the bills, the salaries, and the marketing. So we got that out of the way. Now, minus the price, here's how I would purchase this watch if I were in the market. I would simply go on eBay and get one of these on the used market, because these don't really hold their value up as like any other, some other brands. This one here, you should be able to get under the $500 price point, and I think in that case, you're definitely getting a fair deal, because you are getting the robust, reliable SW200 movement. Despite it being the entry-level Swiss movement, it is an automatic 26 jewel movement. So yeah, it's a really good watch for that kind of money, and I think the design is really what sets this watch off. I mean, if you're a fan of modern design, minimalistic design, unique design, there's no questioning this watch. This watch has that uniqueness. It has that fun factor. It has that what is on your wrist presence. Some of the things I'd like to see change, I'd like to see, some brushing here and there, maybe a little bit of that. Obviously, I'd love to see lume of some sort. I hate the fact that I wear this watch at night and I don't know. I'm so used to like my 90+% of my other watches that has lume. So, I would have loved to have seen some type of lume. I understand why they don't have it, but I think there's a way around it. So that's that. The dimensions on the watch is great. 40 millimeter case diameter. It's a very thin 10 millimeter thickness. So, we're looking at good dimensions. The leather strap is really quality. So, overall, I love the watch. It's actually staying in my collection. So that does say something, but I would caution you not to basically do your homework, shop around, and see if you can find a better deal elsewhere, because this is truly a cool watch. And so there you go. That's my 2 cents. You can keep the change, and always remember that there's always time to be kind to one another. Please take care of each other, and I'll see you guys next time on Average Joe Watch Reviews. God bless, my friends.